Windsor at WMFD in Mansfield.
Hey, Jack.
Hi, Governor. Hello, sir. Two quick scenarios with the same fundamental question. Today, a female student would have been the first golfer from Eastern Pike High to ever compete in the district tournament, but because she was named as a contact in a COVID case, the Ohio Department of Health wouldn't let her play, despite her not being sick and despite pleas from the Pike County Health District. As Carl Hunnell mentioned, Richland County may go purple on Thursday, despite 0.2% of the population being infected. In July, you said the advisory system was made for local leaders to make decisions, and it appears that's also what you said today. So, Governor, why was the high school golfer denied the chance to play if the local officials are allowed to make the decisions? And what can you be more specific about what powers elected officials have regarding schools, businesses, and other measures here in Richland County?
Well, as far as Richland County, I think I answered that with the other question. Again, going purple, has no consequences or sanctions from the state of Ohio. And that's the same way with being red. Let me talk about the student golfer, but I want to talk about all student athletes. There's been a lot of things throughout this pandemic that has been very sad, caused me a lot of anguish, but it's not about me. It's about what these kids are going through. I talked earlier about nursing homes, where we had to shut the nursing homes down as far as visitors. We did it to keep people safe, but we also, what happened was that people got, weren't able to see their loved ones, and with many times very difficult consequences. And I've heard directly from people who've lost a parent and who felt their parent died because no one could go visit the parent. We've heard, I've talked with superintendents. We've got a lot of emails from superintendents who talk about, CDC guidelines, which are the state guidelines, which are followed by local health departments, and saying, can't we change those? What do you do about the student, who is sitting by another student, and they're within 6 feet, they're close, because the school is back in, can't spread them out anymore. And one student comes down, and you got a confirmed case of the virus. And then people who have been around that student that day, who've been around them for more than 15 minutes, end up being quarantined. So we've really been looking at this. Our health advisors, not just in the health department, but our main doctors around the state are very reluctant, frankly, to change that guidance, unless there's some data that indicates that, that spread with two people having a mask on 3 feet apart or 4 feet or 5 feet or whatever it is, that the incidence of spread is very, very, very low. And if it's not very low, then there's a feeling that we should not change that. And so my heart goes out to the student who you're talking about. It goes out to, runners who can't run, football players who can't play football, soccer players who can't play, volleyball players. Goes out to a student who's in drama, a student who wants to do something else and they can't do it, or just a student who can't go to school. But those are the generally accepted best practices, guidelines, and what we're trying to do with the study that I talked about is to figure out, hey, is there a way we can lessen those? Is there a way that we can get real data, look at it in Ohio from a representative sample of students who have been exposed within that 6 feet, over 15 minutes, and track them and have them take 3 tests a week or whatever the experts tell us, and to be regularly tested and follow that and come up with some data that may be able to allow us to change this. We started this, as you recall, with many people saying, I want to have my kids personally in school. I don't want them to be remote. So we let schools make that decision. We let parents make that decision, which is the right thing to do, we thought. We still do. Same way as sports. We said, let them go play. But we also said, we're going to have to follow basic health guidelines. And these are the basic health guidelines that we're going to have to follow. So it's a tough situation for her. I'm very, very sorry for her. I know that doesn't help her a bit, but I'm very sorry for her. I think if this was my child, how upset I would be, and I understand that. But we've got to try to keep people safe. At the same time, we're trying to get as many kids out playing sports and going to school as we can. I think that's the last question. We'll look forward to seeing you all.